this one night, I went to a bar to talk to a friend that opened the bar, and he used to have a lot of experience with actors, like really popular actors here and singers, and he helped them manage stuff like with different sponsorships they had or whatever. Okay. And I asked him like, what do you suggest, man? Like I have this situation and I want to make it kind of into something better. And he said like, you should probably start like with doing your own brand first, like let people recognize you.
Right.
And he said like you should do stuff on social media. Now it seems like such a fucking obvious advice, you know. But at the time I was like, crazy. Yeah, maybe you're right, you know. Maybe I should make like a YouTube or whatever, and try to show my unique skills or whatever I got that people might be interested in. And the very same night I came back from the bar and I was recording. I went to a family mart near my home and I took this video where I was talking to the lady behind the counter, and she's super nice. I talked to her like a million times before, but I was like, dude, like this is so special, you know. I come from so far away, and like we talk all this bullshit with her, like it's Chinese and English, because she actually spoke English well too.
Right.
And I recorded us speaking. I posted the video like the next day, and I think I didn't have like no followers on Instagram at that time, and that video got like 500,000 views in like a few days. It just blew up.
That's crazy.
And I was like, oh shit.
And Jake, you can get your mic swag on too, you know. Sometimes you can kind of just like be right here, like if you want to make a point, be like, yo, that one girl that I was talking to, was like, you know, so you just have fun with it.
All right, man.
But so yeah, I forgot who it was, but it was like a music video dude, and like he was already on this podcast with Gary Vee, and he was kind of telling Gary Vee his 5-year plan, and Gary was like, that's fire, do it. He ends up doing it, and now he's like he has like the biggest. I think I sent it to Armel. He has like the biggest. What was it called? It was like a beer cartoon company. I think I sent that to you. But the cat is a music video artist. He got like the white hair dye. He does like all these big music videos. Anyways, but yeah, so you never know, Jay. You've been here. You're here in Taiwan. You're cultivating an amazing, I guess you can say, young legacy, a brand here. We're going to get into that story today, brother. So I'm here with Jakub. How do you pronounce your last name?
Oh, man, that's a tricky one. That's a Polish word, and so I doubt there's many people that can pronounce that.
I got to hear it.
Michalak.
Michalak.
Michalak. Yeah, that's how you say it.
Michalak.
So the first name is Jakub in Polish, and then the last one is Michalak.
Michalak.
Yeah.
Does Michalak have a meaning?
Nah, Polish names don't have no meanings.
Nah, man. You gotta be real. I know Michalak.
I was gonna make something up, but I'm like, there's no meaning, bro.
You sure? Michalak sounds fire.
So honestly, I don't know what's the idea behind Polish names. I never really looked into it.
Really?
Yeah, no idea, bro.
All right, so we'll start off natural. Bring me back to Poland. I know you moved here to Taiwan when you were 17.
Yeah, a little bit later. I think I was like 20. I first came here when I was 17. Yeah.
Right.
I was doing university in Poland, and I came here for 1 semester to do an exchange. That was fun. And then I went back home. Then I went to Korea. Then came back home again and finished my university. And I was like,
wow.
I was like 20, I think so.
Wow.
Just finished my undergraduate degree.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do, bro. And I was just like, I remember Taiwan was pretty cool, so I might as well just come back here.
What first sparked that Taiwan? Like, what put Taiwan in your crosshairs, so to say?
Yeah, that's a good one. So honestly, I went to China, like way back when I was, I think, like 16,
really?
17. I went to China for 2 weeks, and I was doing dance shows at the time with a group of friends. So we had this exchange thing where the government of Wuhan, bro. Wuhan. You remember Wuhan?
Yeah, oh my.
Yeah, their night markets are crazy there. Anyway, so we went there and we did 2 weeks of like dance shows. And I really remember like that was crazy. Like that was the first time I was in Asia, and just seeing like it was so different, bro. It was crazy. It was just I really wanted to go back.
That's wild. For those of you who don't know, and for those of you who know, am I saying can I say Jacob or Jakub?
Yeah, you go ahead with both.
But I like Jakub. It feels more like a warrior or something. Jakub the Great. But like for those of you who know Jakub for his digital marketing expertise, or his amazingly well curated, funny content, he's also an excellent dancer. And I think that's when we first met back in like 2020.
Something like that.
You know, you was dancing, you was modeling, but you was always hustling. You was always your business acumen has always been very strong. And I always remember like knowing like, yo, this kid is sharp. This kid's trying to take over.
Always trying to do something.
That's vibes. So you were in China, you got kind of introduced to the Oriental culture.
Yeah, that was just crazy, man.
Shocking, right? As a teenager from Poland.
Shocking. That was the best trip of my life at that time. And I was just thinking about it. And then somehow this idea in my head, I thought of an exchange. My brother went to Portugal, for 1 semester.
That's fine.
I had this friend who just went to Israel, and I was like, I might as well go myself. So
I need my own spot to head to.
I didn't think too much of it at the time. And after my first year of university, I just applied for an exchange and went to Taiwan.
Fire.
And that was an awesome experience. Like, it opens your mind when you go. A lot of our friends here, they always say that like once you go abroad, you live there to work, study, whatever. Like you come back a different man, and I think that's true.
Wow. And when you finally went to Taiwan, what year was this?
I think that was 2019. 2019. Yeah.
2019.
Yeah, I was like 19, I think so at the time, 19, 18, something like that.
It like feels like forever ago already, right?
Yeah, dude, it's been like 5 years ago, but it feels like a long time.
2019 was an amazing year. And then, I came here in 2020. And then that's kind of when we crossed paths over at the, ACT, Art Center Taipei. And we met through some cool mutual people. Shout out Bruce. Shout out James.
Yeah.
Also some entrepreneurial hustlers. We might have to get them on the show one of these days. And they founded a company called Huge X, which I was helping them, ambassador for, and then they also had you on board to lead the ship, right? So tell me more about that experience. Like 2019, 2020, the world is ending. It felt like Taipei was the place to be, and we were here.
Yeah. So I came back here for my master's degree, actually.
Nice.
But I really didn't want to do that. Like, I didn't really want to study, and I just kind of went through it somehow. I finished by now, but that was the easiest way to get here at the time, because I had to. I don't know what to do. Like how do you move to another country that's so far away and you don't know anyone there. You can't work there.
Right.
It's a tough choice, but I kind of decided like I should go there, and at the time I didn't speak the language too. So anyway, I started my master's degree, and after I think 2 months, I met you guys, and as you said, I got hired in this company, and I was doing marketing for them at the time. Right. Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing with marketing at the time. Like I had no idea, bro. I had no experience.
Wow.
No experience. And I was just kind of trying a lot of stuff, but I was motivated, and I always wanted to, I think that's the most important fact, because I had a lot of friends telling me when I first came here, like, oh, you're studying, like it's hard to find a job, like, and everyone's teaching English. Like, I don't want to do that shit, And I'm like, I don't want to be teaching English. Yeah. So like I gotta find a way to do something else. And by coincidence, I don't know how, but like somehow like this kind of opened my path here to other things.
I feel like when you say coincidence, I feel like you're being humble, because I think you're a very powerful manifester. I can sense that in you. And I remember we had like a little lunch. I think it was like a quick lunch after we went to the Huge X studios and whatnot. We had like a quick lunch, and I think I sat down with you and we kind of spoke briefly about that. And you were saying these same things. Like you were like you always knew you was meant for something more. And I can sense that immediately in you. Like, you're like, yo, I love dancing. And you're a fire dancer, by the way. If you guys don't know, like, my man Jacob can move.
Retired now.
He's retired. You never retire, bro. Just play the right track. Jacob gonna come out and shut shit down. But I remember you were like, yeah, I can dance. Of course you do modeling and acting as well. But I can remember you were looking to balance all those pieces into something that is uniquely yourself. And now we're here 4 years later, and you know, you're cultivating an amazing brand. You're making super, super hilarious, creative, cross-cultural content in English and Chinese. You're speaking quite fluently, and I remember that too. You were just like, yeah, I gotta learn Chinese. I'm taking some classes right now. Like this shit was crazy, and it's like,
time,
yeah, you're like, I'm learning Chinese right now. Fast forward, you're over here, you're zooming around on a fucking crazy. What model motorcycle you got right now?
Oh man, that's just a small motorcycle, nothing crazy. It's just a Suzuki, but
quick Suzuki.
About to sell it too.
Quick Suzuki, about to sell it. Yeah, he's zooming around spot to spot. You're leading a new company called Hype Select, right? Am I saying that right?
Yeah. Let me clarify that part.
Oh, clarify that.
So I actually took a break from that.
Okay, cool.
Like I think in December, so it's been a minute. So I stopped doing that, and because I think we're gonna get to that part later.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Talking kind of chronologically, but basically, yeah, I had to quit that and focus on my main job now.
Fire. And what's on your plate right now? What are you saucing right now?
Yeah, so the main thing now is I'm making it sound super fucking boring, but
nah, it's not, man.
Anyway, I work full time for this company that sells glasses and sunglasses, luxury eyewear, basically. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm responsible for e-commerce there.
Right.
So yeah, e-commerce and paid advertising mostly.
Right. Well, which is really important because, you know, here on this show too, we're always very interested in exploring different modes of creating abundance, currency, security for oneself. So we're entering this new world where not only are you balancing the digital aspects of marketing, sales, promotion, but it fuses with who you are naturally, which is, you know, an artist, a creator. So that's why I think it's really interesting to see that you've cultivated this balance here. Maybe for you it's normal, you know, for people like us, like we're always trying to find that like sustainable feeling where we do what we love and we get paid to do what we love. But you'd be surprised, a lot of people are still in a place where like they're wondering how to do it, and they get inspired by people like yourself who, you know, you're a guy from Poland, you're living in Taiwan for 4 years, you speak fluent Mandarin, and you're hustling out here. Like, that's wild. So
yeah, sometimes I look back to it and I'm wondering what happened, you know?
Yeah, do you ever like have a like man in the mirror moment where you're just like,
where it all got me?
Who have you become?
Yeah, I do many times, but I always feel like it's not enough. I always want to do something more, and I think maybe that's the drive that keeps me going, and always like whenever I feel comfortable in a situation, I always feel like, nah, this is not it, man. This is not enough.
Where do you think that comes from? Who instilled that in you, like that?
I don't know, man.
That drive.
I think one part of it is I have like a bit of a rivalry with my brother.
Oh, really?
My older brother, yeah. He's living back home, but he's got 2 companies doing really well, and yeah, way ahead of me. So like I feel like I'm always chasing him, you know.
Older or younger?
Older.
All right, that's dope.
Older. Yeah.
So he's like the business killer in the family.
Yeah.
That's dope.
For sure. So we always have those talks, you know, on the phone, and we always exchange, and like I tell him what's going on, and of course we mention things like, okay, how much money you made this month, you know, like what problems you dealing with, and like every time we talk, I'm like, man, I gotta step up, you know. So
you have, so that's fire. So you kind of have a framework in your life where you have somebody, your brother, older brother. I mean, that's, shout out all the older brothers in the world, younger brothers too. I mean, I have a younger brother myself, 4 years younger than me. He be inspiring me now too, because he's on his hustle, his grind. But it sounds like having someone like that in your life really gives you a certain fire.
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
The energy is important too. Like when you guys talk, is there a powerful energy that just kind of like gets you going in the morning?
Yeah, bro. It's like we always make fun of it. We talk about 3 topics: business, women, and bullshit. And bullshit is just like, you know, like anything.
屁话.
Yeah, like 屁话.
屁话.
Whatever funny happened, you know.
屁话means bullshit in Chinese, everyone. So all those viewers. But I'm also interested too back to your why. Of course, your brother's a big driving force. Do you have a why? Do you have like a,
Yeah, I've been thinking about that more and more recently, and especially like those last 3 years. It felt like I don't know what I was doing, and like just things kept on happening for me.
Mm-hmm.
And now, since like a year maybe, I've been trying to get a hold of it and try to think for myself, like what do I really want to do,
Yeah.
Which direction should I go to? I have 24 hours a day, like why am I wasting an hour there? Like what should be my real focus? What do I want to do for my work? How I want to spend my free time? I've been thinking about that more and more, and that also helps me discover like what's my why, and just thinking about life itself. Yeah, I think like I don't want to waste my life on just like doing something I wouldn't like. So I think at least the goal for me now is to enjoy every single day with the work I do. I think with work is probably essential, because people often say they hope they won't have to work, or they want to retire or whatever. But I feel like that's what life is about. What am I going to do if I'm not working,
Right.
I'd be fucking bored, bro.
Right. And someone like you, super high energy all the time. So I feel like you're always like thinking about what's next to create. Because I even now, some conversation outside, and I remember you're full of ideas. You're full of ideas, and then you have a lot of execution. How does that execution, what's your relationship with like having an idea and then executing it and acting upon it?
Yeah, now definitely thinking more carefully about my ideas. When I was maybe a bit younger, 20, 25 now, just to clarify that. When I was younger, when I had an idea, I would just go for it, like, just start, and like in the process just realize, oh shit, there's that. But now, with every idea that I have, I think about it more seriously and try to put more thought into it and try to make it something serious. Yeah, I think one of those things could be like my work. I've been considering very seriously, like my current job. Do I want to keep on doing it?
Right.
Or do I want to do something different? And if I wanted to, what would that be? So I put a lot of thought into that, because I feel like those decisions, the older you get, the more important they are. Like you don't want to waste a year somewhere that you don't want to be.
Right. So you're like looking at time right now, and you're maximizing every single aspect of it.
Yeah, very much. I'm trying to. Yeah.
That's fire. And when you think about time as well, let's stay on that topic. Are you somebody who believes in do you believe in, like I always ask people, YOLO or YALA? You only live once, or you always live again?
Yeah, I think if to choose one, man, probably like you live once. So
you only live once?
Yeah, dude.
Where do you think that belief comes from? What puts you on that realm of you only live once? I got to get it right now.
Well, I'm not a very religious person. I don't believe in stuff. I believe in science more. So, just to put it bluntly, like once you die, like it's over, man. So
you feel like this is all we got?
Pretty much, yeah.
This is the one shot.
You might want to just at least live a happy life.
And you cultivate you use that to cultivate that framework. So like when you're in a zone and you feel like things are getting like hard or pressure, you're like, yo, this is it. I gotta make this happen right now.
I try to, yeah. Even if I don't enjoy a situation, I try to at least, try to think of it in a way like, oh yeah, like it's not a big deal, like you might as well just make fun of it or whatever.
I feel like Polish people have a dark sense of humor too. You guys got some good dark jokes, so.
Yeah, they're not suitable for a podcast though.
Really? You sure?
Yeah, I'll think of one maybe later.
And is there anybody in your family or immediate circle who are super spiritual and religion? Like, I mean, of course, we don't have to go into religion, but
yeah, surprisingly not, to be honest. Like, Polish people are mostly Catholic, and especially older people, they're all believers, and they all go. We all go to church on Sundays. But for my parents and for my family, not specifically. My grandma, maybe. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, maybe my grandma.
What kind of like interesting sayings did you grow up with when it comes to
let
like?
Me think of that. That's an interesting.
Like I feel like Polish be having some sayings.
They do. It's not it's not exactly religious stuff, but it's like spiritual stuff. We have a lot of superstitions.
Really?
Yeah, the crazy ones. My mom always talks about superstitions.
Well, you're here in Taiwan. Taiwan is very, very, in a way, very
In a
spiritual and superstitious
thing.
too.
Yeah, yeah. So like one of the things we have is like you can't shake someone's head over the doorstep.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea why not, but I can't remember why. But like you can't do it.
It's like a
if your hands are in the middle of the doorstep, you can't do it. You gotta go inside or outside first.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. No.
It's like it reminds me of like if your hand is in between the portal. It's like maybe someone will lose their hand.
Something like that, I guess. Yeah. Or you can't give someone shoes as a gift. You shouldn't do that.
I heard about that. We had that too. Like you can't gift the shoes because then they're gonna run away, run out your life, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of those weird superstitions.
That's fire. So speaking of that though, do you have your own superstitions that you live by? Like, do you have your own framework?
I used to. I just deleted them completely, entirely from my
Really?
life. Yeah. I don't believe in that shit. So I feel like whenever I have one of those ideas, like, oh, I should do it now because something's gonna happen. Like, nah, I should think about. I prefer to think rationally.
Okay, cool. And what kind of put you into that framework? What switched it? Like you talk about scientific, rational. I think that's fire because it's always great to be as objective as possible. So I'm wondering, like,
where does that come from? You're making me think a lot about myself today. So
we vibing, bro. We vibing. You can always just travel inwards, because I think for sure some of the things you've created is definitely signs of doing something right. You know.
I don't know, man. I think it comes from my experience that being rational and calculating always is the best way to take you to your goals, to whatever there is. Yeah, I kind of grown used to it. I think so.
That's dope. So even like right now, on your objective, do you have like a 5-year, 10-year
plan?
Yeah. Do you know where do you have like a compass that, like, what's your next dream right now, Jay?
My next dream is to find it. I'm looking for it at the moment. I had a 5-year plan. I had a 10-year plan for my company, but then things didn't go the way I planned them. So I'm thinking about it. But I do have one thing in mind that I made sure that all right. It's not a 5-year plan, but I do have goals for a year.
Dope.
So there's that. I didn't think of a 5-year plan. I think that 5-year plan is more of a thing for like for a company.
Right.
That you need that. But for like my life, I don't know, man. So many things change within a year. Trying to plan 5 seems crazy. But for the current year speaking, so I got like 3 main goals. One is to switch my work to being 100% remote.
Nice.
So it doesn't matter how I achieve that goal, whether it's working for the company that I do work at now, or
nice.
I have to change the job, or even if I have to quit it, that's a goal, and I'm going to do it by the end of this year.
Fire.
And the main reason for that is I want to go out and see more places, maybe stay somewhere for 2 weeks.
Right.
And I feel like, whenever I have to come back to the office all the time, it kind of keeps me grounded. I also feel like there's a lot more inspiration from working from different places.
That's what I'm excited to talk about.
Yeah.
Working while traveling. We'll talk about a little bit about that.
Yeah, I love that, man. I've just discovered that like last year, and I think there's a lot of inspiration coming from that. And
wow.
Yeah. So that's one. Number 2 is a financial goal, how much I want to make this year. Mm-hmm. And then number 3 is I want to do a kickboxing competition this year, and I already signed up. It's coming in 2 months, so that's gonna happen too.
I heard that's what you mentioned outside. You said you got a fight coming up.
Yeah.
So you've been doing Muay Thai
Muay Thai and kickboxing.
Kickboxing.
Yeah.
That's fire. So channeling that energy from movement now into martial arts.
Yeah, I feel it's very similar to dancing, and
oh, for sure.
So I've been dancing like most of my life, And there was always I actually really wanted to do martial arts when I was younger.
Right.
I didn't want to dance, but my mom didn't want to let me go to kickboxing.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, she was like, you can start with judo. So I did judo when I was younger.
Right.
And then I did jiu-jitsu. At the same time I was dancing, so I never had that much time for it. I think it was like maybe 2 classes a week. So not much time, maybe 3 hours a week total.
Right.
And now I stopped dancing almost entirely. Like I don't practice. So I have all this time in the evening after I finish work and I go to train Muay Thai or kickboxing.
What's that been like? What's that been like being in the cage?
Dude, I love that, man.
In the ring.
I love it. It's I've always wanted to do it since I was younger, and now I feel like I got all the time to focus on it. And especially these 2 months, I'm gonna focus way more on fighting. I'm gonna live with that.
Right.
Just because of the competition.
We explore that too. Some of our guests have a very balanced relationship with work, martial arts, or some kind of physical activity. Do you feel like there's a bridge there? Do you feel like that's essential in terms of like, you know, keeping your energy levels high, keeping your mind clear? What is that martial arts like for you in relation to work and, you know, maybe women, maybe stress and whatnot?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one thing is that whenever I go to fighting classes, not workout, fighting specifically, you need to focus 100% entirely on what you're doing, because otherwise, like, you get punched in the face. It's like that's it. You just gotta be focused like 100% in the moment. So there's that, and you're focused like this for an hour. It's like this really deep focus, most of the times. That it's sometimes hard to be that focused even on your work or on reading or whatever else you do. So after you finish that hour and, like, you know, the class is over and you're like relaxing, like, yeah, all of it, you like let go of everything.
That's fire.
When I go workout, you know, like, it's always the phone, you know, you answer a message, listen to some music. It's kind of different. I still finish my workouts, but I'm not as deeply focused as when I fight. So it's like
the moment. It's like you're in the moment.
Yeah, you're definitely in the moment.
Super
you gotta
present.
be in the moment, or, like, as I said, like, you're being punched in the face.
Right.
You gotta focus.
Right. Well, I mean, you experienced dancing, being on stage. You've been acting and modeling as well. So you're kind of, what is that relationship with, like, you know? In New York, I've also done a lot of experience with, like, improv comedy or being on stage, also acting and modeling as well. So I think there's an interesting relationship between that present live moment and then how you carry that into your life. A lot of people don't get to be in the moment. What is that to you?
It's been a while since I felt that, so maybe that's why I want to go to the competition.
Ooh, so you're like, so you're kind of hungry for that.
I think so last time,
that's interesting.
When I was going to dance competitions way back, it feels like, you know, at least for this 1 minute when you're dancing, like, everyone's looking at you, like, and I've had good performances and bad performances, and, like, but it's always something to come back to. It's really stressful though. So
right.
I always feel like with dancing, the stress was kind of stopping me from doing my best, because in dance you kind of have to relax. At least for me, I think you have to relax to do. That's why dancers smoke so much weed.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Like, they smoke the most weed, I swear.
That's cool.
Same with rappers. I think so, maybe.
Takes a little edge off.
Yeah. So, like, you gotta be completely relaxed. But with fighting, you know, I feel like this stress helps. I had
That's fire.
Last year I did a jiu-jitsu competition, and I was stressed too. It was my first competition in a long time, and the stress kind of helped me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you still gotta relax a little bit, but it was helpful, and yeah, it feels awesome. Like, once you finish, like, you're proud of yourself. You know, like, even if you fail, even if you lost, like, shit, you did it. You know, like, you did something that most people are not willing to do.
Oh, I mean, I love that right now in 2024, there's a huge influx of martial arts culture.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think it's becoming, I saw this funny meme the other day. It's like, who wants to go to the clubs anymore to meet people? Like, you're just going to meet a bunch of drunk people. And like, people now want to meet people at the fitness clubs, the martial art gyms. It's like, we want to meet people who care about their body, who are getting into shape, who are fortifying their mind fortifying their senses. So I love that this culture is uprising, you know, where we're seeing some like great UFC fighters get a lot of, and of course it is a violence element, right? It kind of reminds me of like the Roman Colosseum days.
For sure. It hurts sometimes, but like, you know.
Of course, I'm sure it does. But it's something about that moment of like life or death. Why do you think humans are so obsessed with that moment? Like, we're going to watch somebody, they're going to go in. And of course, this is like any professional sport, like live or die.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that is a good one too.
Because I feel like you're a competitor at the heart of it. Now that I'm talking to you more,
yeah,
extremely rational, extremely objective, goal based. So it's actually no coincidence that you accomplish and achieve the things you've achieved because you're a fighter and a competitor deep down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. There is definitely something about it. Like when you go fight someone and there's. Maybe the beginning of the fight is gonna be like, you know, a bit relaxed. Both opponents are gonna take their time, but once you get to that point where you're like, you know, you get hit a little bit, you don't feel the pain no more, and like, it's just both guys go all out. There's something about it.
That's wild. When is this fight gonna be?
In 2 months from now. Let me see. Yeah, less than 2 months, and 10th of August.
And who are you fighting?
I don't know yet. I don't know.
All right.
And I'm probably not gonna even look at who I'm fighting.
Right, you're just gonna go in, and you're gonna wear the piece. Do you have to wear the piece for this?
It's an amateur fight, so we're gonna have shin protection, 14-ounce gloves, and headgear.
Right.
So it's relatively safe.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you got kids in Thailand fighting like 9 years old fighting with like nothing.
I've seen that.
Hitting each other with elbows and knees.
A few months ago, I was in Phuket. And
you went to the...
Yeah, I went to, what's it called?
The stadium?
The stadium, what's it called with the S? The
Phuket stadium?
There's a stadium in Phuket.
Yeah.
But I forgot the name of it.
What was Bangla Stadium? Let me see.
Something like that. But yeah, you saw those kids come out, 9 years old, 10 years old, already just throwing shin kicks.
Yeah.
With the ferocity.
Yeah, it's crazy. Training from a young age, like them.
Yeah.
Kind of a different world.
Do you see yourself kind of, depending on this fight, do you see yourself going along? Like continuing to do some pro fights and stuff?
Pro fights? I don't know. I don't think so. At the moment, it's a fun thing for me to do, and I love it. But I can't see myself living just with that. I think I still got my other goals and my other work, and yeah. And then finally, there's the brain damage. You know, you can't forget about that.
That's a real thing in the fighting?
Yeah, of course, bro. It's a real thing. You get hit over and over in your head. It doesn't do no good.
Really?
CTE, yeah.
Have you met any martial artists who kind of going through that? Like who you can tell they're like maybe a little bit razzled?
I wouldn't say like in that I met any in like a very advanced stage, because you got boxers, you know, like really old boxers who like they don't know what's going on, man. Then the symptoms start getting crazy. But when I was younger, back in Poland, I started kickboxing there actually.
Right.
You know, some of those coaches were always like, you know, slurring their words,
right,
or being a little bit slow.
Right.
You know, you don't want to end up that way. But
that's
years of like being hit in the head.
I feel you. So this is like a challenge for you. This is like you just putting this in your life to challenge yourself and kind of sharpen yourself, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's amazing. So moving forward next, like, you know, you got a fight coming up, you're balancing digital marketing, and you mentioned that you want to start working remote. That's what I get excited about.
Yeah.
What's that like? I mean, because you've been doing some traveling too. I know you hit the Philippines, you've hit Vietnam.
Yeah.
So let's talk about travel and why travel is so important to inspiration and.
Yeah. Working remotely, man, that sounds awesome. A lot of people feel like more and more people are starting to do that, right? And so I think where it mostly comes from is from my I did a trip to Vietnam.
Nice.
Just like a few months ago.
Right.
And I went there with my friends from Poland, like a group of 7 guys.
Mm-hmm.
and like half of them are engineers, so they work remotely, just by rule.
Really? So they're kind of digital nomads.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, all of them.
Wow.
And then my brother also came along, and he owns a company.
Right.
But his company only has 2 office days a week.
Okay.
So they're pretty chill about it too. And they don't even have an office, man. They do.
Wow.
They rent a co-working space. That's all.
Wow. So it kind of gives you a mobility.
Yeah. They have weekly meetings with the whole team online, and then they have one in the office. It works. And I think more and more people are starting to realize you don't really need to be in the office, to do your job. But the Taiwanese companies are a bit traditional,
I can imagine.
So,
I can imagine.
But to be fair, the company that I work for, so they were okay with me going to Vietnam for 2 weeks.
Nice.
I told them I want to work from abroad. Is that okay? They had no problem with it. So I appreciate that. Still surprising, since my company is pretty traditional. It's
right.
30 years in business, and it's like one of those traditionally structured companies.
Right.
And just now I've been to the Philippines, so that was a shorter trip. So I only did a few days of work from home.
Nice.
In there, and then now my current thing is I do 2 days of work from home.
Nice.
Every week. And I arrange them myself. I can do more. Yeah, surprisingly, the general manager from my company she's really flexible with that. She doesn't mind. They look more into results than your actual work time or whatever.
So you're kind of seeking a balance like that. You do 2 days, you work in 2 days, and then gives you freedom to explore other facets of your manifestation. I know you've been also cultivating some new content online, with Chinese speaking comedic content. What got you into that too?
Shit, I don't know about that, man. I was just this. What did I do?
You've been hitting some viral waves with those.
Yeah,
that's fire.
How did that start? Are we gonna switch topics now?
I mean, it's kind of connected, because I feel like once you're working remote, now you're doing fun stuff.
Yeah,
you're
I actually did start doing that a bit earlier, and earlier than working remotely. So I was doing before all of that. Before I think 2 years, I started my company, and I wasn't making enough money to survive all that. So
wow.
So I was doing gigs and stuff, doing TV advertisements,
right.
Stuff like that on the side. And it's actually started getting really good at some point. I was able to make a decent living out of that. But then I was I want to take it to the next level. But for a year or more, maybe a year or two, it always seemed like the same thing. There was no progress. So what's the next step for that? Can I go, be an actor in a movie or in a TV series or whatever? And there was no way of doing that. So I was exploring. I was talking with different agencies,
right.
And I was feeling they always just, if they have a work opportunity, they're gonna ask you. But if you want to actually take it to the next step, how are you gonna do it?
Right.
So this one night, I went to a bar to talk to a friend that opened the bar, and he used to have a lot of experience with actors, really popular actors here, and singers, and he helped them manage stuff with different sponsorships they had or whatever.
Okay.
And I asked him what do you suggest, man? I have this situation, and I want to make it kind of into something better. And he said you should probably start with doing your own brand first,
right.
Let people recognize you.
Right.
And he said you should do stuff on social media. Now it seems like such a fucking obvious advice, But at the time I was
crazy.
Yeah, maybe you're right, maybe I should make a YouTube or whatever.
Right.
And try to show my unique skills or whatever I got that
right.
people might be interested in. And the very same night I came back from the bar, and I was recording. I went to a Family Mart near my home, and I took this video where I was talking to the lady behind the counter, and she's super nice. I talked to her a million times before, but I was dude, this is so special, I come from so far away, and we talk all this bullshit with her, it's Chinese and English, because she actually spoke English well too.
Right.
And I recorded us speaking, and I posted the video the next day, And I think I didn't have like no followers on Instagram at that time, and that video got like 500,000 views in
Just
like a few
blew
days.
up.
It just blew up.
That's
And I was
crazy.
like, oh shit, people like that. You know, I had no idea. You know, like, and people were like super nice in the comments. They're like, oh shit, like you speak Chinese well, and like not just the fact that you speak Chinese, because I don't feel that that's unique anymore. A lot of foreigners speak Chinese, right?
Yeah.
But the situation itself was
Genuine.
yeah, it was genuine, and people liked it. So from there, kind of started making more and more stuff, and I learned what kind of videos attract more.
I think this is where we're gonna have fun now that you're a little warmed up, because I love talking about content.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a digital marketer yourself. You're a performer. You're a creator. You know, we're in this time now that you see someone like Kai Cenat live stream, like king of live stream, just had Drewski and Kevin Hart on his live stream, probably like one of the best live streams ever.
Yeah, crazy.
You know, so it's like, this gets me excited too, because the world is responding to genuine, authentic storytellers and content creators. And I think at the heart of it too, you know, you establish working remote, so you have some income there, but it's really to fuel what you're passionate about, right? So when we talk about passion, like, what are you passionate about? What gets you hyped when it comes to creating content? And
of course, it's the result. If I like the entire process of taking the video. It's always fun, but then the results are like, I think, the most inspiring thing, because you made something and people appreciate it. That's the kind of gratification that you can't. It's hard for most people to get that out of their job, because you know, you do your job every day, and like no most of the time no one's there to tell you like that was cool, you know, you did a good thing there. Most of the time, like this, you just do your fucking job, you know.
That's interesting.
So every time I make a video and people respond to it in a positive way, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad to hear that. And then I didn't realize that, but like at some point, you know, people started sending me messages and saying like, oh, I like your videos, like they're super funny, and like, oh shit, I totally agree with that. And I was like, yeah, those kind of messages are like, I like to see that, you know.
Yeah, you feel like you're inspiring people. You're getting people through their day.
Yeah, maybe if not inspiring, at least, you know, like giving them a laugh or something.
And how would you describe the content you create now in that regards? Like,
Yeah.
it's a mix of, I know you speak Chinese very well. You have an interesting perspective. I've seen a few of your videos too. Like, they're super relatable.
Yeah, that's the most important factor for content, I think so. Like, if you make it relatable, people are gonna share it. People are gonna talk about it, because like you're talking about, we've all been through that, you know. So
Right.
So there's that, but you don't want to make it too obvious too, because like with trends, I try not to do trends, because to me it's just like, you know, you're just doing someone else's idea, you're just redoing it. So I try to always do something unique. But my content now, man, I don't know, I couldn't describe it in a few words. I do dancing, speaking Chinese, and comedy in the most basic way I could describe it. This is what I do. But I always feel like there's no plan there, you know, like every video is different, because I don't want to treat it as a job. I
True.
try to treat it as a fun thing. So
Right.
some random Tuesday evening after kickboxing, it's 11 p.m. and like, shit, I should make a video about that. And I just take out my phone, make a video, and post it the next day. That's how I do it. There's no plan there. No.
Oh,
nothing.
wow. So your process is very impromptu.
Yeah, definitely.
That's dope.
I go back home, I ride a motorcycle back home, I see something, and I got an idea.
You act on it immediately.
That's hilarious, and I'm gonna make a video about it.
So you never have ideas in the bank? Do you have any ideas in the bank that
I write them down. If I
True.
I had an
That's
idea
dope.
and like I can't make the video now, I'll just write it down. So I have a list of like maybe 50 ideas I still haven't filmed. So
Oh, that's fire.
quite a few, yeah.
That's fire. Yo, if you any videographers, producers, hit up Jakub if
Any ideas, man? Let's go.
you know what I mean. So that's interesting. So like you're just trying to be as aware as possible of like really authentic, genuine moments.
Yeah. That's where the best content comes from.
True. Do you have any people who inspire you right now in terms of that field of like work-life balance, you know, working remote, but also passionately making genuine content, story bites and whatnot. Like, is there somebody right now where you're like, yo, that's fire. That's the balance I'm looking to achieve.
To be honest, not that much. Most people that I know of that do that work. I don't honestly. I don't have that many friends who work and try to do internet stuff, to put it that way, at the same time. They're either like full-time influencers or just like they work full-time on their job, and maybe they have other passions, but not the same one as I do. There are some people that I get inspiration from. There are a few like Japanese and Korean guys living in Poland.
What? The reverse?
The reverse, yeah. So like, I don't think there's a Taiwanese person living in Poland doing content about Polish culture, but there's like a Korean dude, there's a Japanese dude, and I watch their videos, and I'm like, shit, man. I understand how people in Taiwan view my videos, because I see his video and like he makes a content about maybe he makes a funny video about like drinking vodka, whatever, in Poland,
right?
And to Polish people, that's hilarious because like that's the most local thing you could do, whatever. Like basically they do very local stuff, and it's just really funny for us to watch. You know, you got someone from Korea or whatever,
someone who looks super Asian, speaking fluent Polish, doing the culture.
They actually don't speak Polish that fluently because Polish is a crazy language, but.
Oh yeah, I heard. I mean, I lived in Prague for a few years, and I know there's
similar, yeah.
Some similarities, but it's that classic. Like, say something in Polish for me real quick. Like.
Witamy wszystkich na podcaście. Jesteśmy tutaj z Evanem i będziemy rozmawiać o życiu i różnych innych tematach.
Dope. Polish is dope. I mean, I feel like the Slavic languages, right? Would you say it's like part of the Slavic languages?
Yeah, absolutely.
Russian, Polish, Czech, like.
Czech and Polish are almost the same languages.
That's fire, bro. So they're not speaking Polish.
No. They speak some words, but like they still make content about Polish culture. So that's the key point, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious for someone that's from there to watch. So the way I see those videos is like, oh, I make a similar kind of video, and I understand how Taiwanese people see it. Right. These guys.
I mean, I've seen like. Have you seen? There's like these group of people from Africa singing in Chinese.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Right, and it's like it's blowing up. It's going viral.
It's crazy.
So what do you think it is? Like, I feel like we're in this time now that, you know, internet, obviously super powerful. You're 25. You grew up in the internet.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it's interesting. It's a little surprising to think that you're hanging around with people who are not really internet like embedded, but. You mentioned that some influencers just do the influencer. What do you see as the difference? Like, how would you define an influencer versus maybe like a digital nomad marketer versus a content creator? Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah, the way I said it, what I meant was like people making a living off of that. So basically, like that's what they do. That's their main job. So maybe they make some content for the fans, and then they also have to get like sponsorships and deals with brands. So
like promoter, they're heavy
promoting.
But I feel like that's not really where you want to be at. You don't want to be just an influencer, right?
No, absolutely. So that's why I try to stay away from sponsorships. Try not to do them as much.
And you had that transition kind of because you were making good money from influencing, modeling, influencing, whatnot. But you're kind of like, wait, like that's not.
The money was actually coming from TV advertisements mostly, not from my own social media. So it helped me. It helped me with letting people know that there's this person that can make that kind of specific content. But I was basically being paid for being part of a video, not for posting it myself and sharing it with my audience.
So now we're talking creative control. You want that creative control of your brand, what you're putting out into the world.
If I am to share something, I feel like I really need to believe in that, because otherwise, like it makes no sense, right?
Yeah, that's interesting.
But I also understand, like from my perspective, why people would want to make partnerships. Like, of course, it's a way to make money, and I don't see no reason why someone would not want to agree to that. But you gotta make it. You gotta believe in it, and you gotta make it it has to make sense.
It has to be like a win-win.
Exactly. So I think there's a lot of YouTube channels that do great transitions from the video to their ads, even if the product is not as interesting, but they somehow manage to to make it a
like a seamless integration.
Yeah,
I see what you mean. So that reminds me of like the Kai Sanat, or like Kai just did a sponsorship deal with like Bang Energy drinks, so to say, right?
I haven't seen that.
But I'm just like, in general, you're saying the product placement has to
make sense.
Has to be seamless now.
Yeah.
I do see that there's a lot of emphasis now, and I think it happened like 2019 till now. You saw a lot of the mainstream brands start to transition their marketing campaigns to influencer marketing, and also like urban / hip hop / street style, especially with the models they choose. Like, it became very urbanized. So of course the youth always dictates popularity, right?
But honestly, I think influencer marketing has been a thing for way back, right? But it's just in a different manner. People, those luxury brands, they always have actors,
right,
doing their photo shoots. That's kind of influencer marketing in a way, right?
Right.
Because their face is on it.
Right.
So, except they're like popular to the point that everyone knows them.
Of course,
right?
of course.
You got like Louis Vuitton with Messi, I think so.
Right, but I feel like it's getting played out a little bit. Like the big celebs getting played out. I almost feel like people collectively are like, we're done with that. We're done with like, I don't care about Kylie. I don't care about the Kardashians anymore. Like, I don't. Show me the real people. So I'm wondering, like, what do you think is the future of where you're at? Because I think we're in the building blocks now. Like, someone like you is unique, you know, like you're in a digital marketing paying job, plus you're branding your own social media. Yeah.
To put that in perspective, you got example from my company. We also do influencer marketing, and we had a few Taiwanese actors, paid them very handsomely for
very handsomely.
Yeah.
A nice fat check.
Yeah.
To smile.
To post an Instagram story,
right.
Believe that or not,
right.
just a freaking Instagram story, and with a little gift from us, which was like Gucci glasses or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what they chose, but luxury glasses.
Right.
To post an Instagram story, and they got paid really much for that. And then we had this. We also have like smaller partnerships with like maybe smaller influencers with like maybe 100,000 followers.
Right.
And just recently, there was this girl that was selling glasses on live stream. And I
heard about these.
There was like 20 or 30 people watching the live stream
right.
at a time, which is not much. That's like really not good traffic, you know. And she sold like 20 pairs of glasses, so each one of them worth like $500, $600.
So it was quality followers, actually.
Yeah. I don't know how she was able to pull that off. I think she did like an hour live. She sold like 20 pieces of like glasses, each of which were like $600 a pair, something like that. $500, $600.
So she didn't have much traffic, but the traffic was seed following. Like they listened to her.
Yeah, she did more than any of those actors did in like an hour on live. So that was crazy. That shocked me.
Right.
How did she do that? I was like,
I think it's a quality over quantity question, which was related to like what I'm talking about now. With like, we're done with the big celebs, we're done with these like this illusion of like millions of followers, and your engagement is like, 1%, under 2%. Yeah. Like, I think we're entering a very new landscape of authentic, high quality, high engagement, digital interactions between people.
Absolutely. I think people want to see. Speaking from my perspective, I want to when I open social media, I don't want to be watching. Like I want to see real shit.
Like what's real shit to you?
So,
I know it's hard to define, but what?
I really like.
Different for everyone.
Really enjoy watching the videos of. There's a bunch of those French dudes.
Okay.
That make man, their videos are hilarious. Let me pull one up. It's like just a 10-second video.
Bet.
I bet you've seen those guys.
That's fire. Because now we're entering like the future of content communication.
You ever see this guy?
Let me see. Play that.
Let me find one.
Wait, is this the French guy who like acts like a crazy like rich French guy?
Oh no,
That's another guy.
That's another.
This one is fire. Aristocrats.
The aristocrats, like, do you know who my father is? Do you know who my father is?
Oh yeah,
I'll shut this whole place down.
The European rich kid.
Yeah, that's interesting. Ooh. Hey. Just bugging out.
But it's just funny, man.
Just geeking. That's fire. But I do feel like I still want to stay on this. Like, Jay, what do you think is the future? Like, what gets you excited about like what's next, about the future of the internet, being able to work remote, you know, digital nomad. I mean, I did some digital nomading last year. Like, that was fire. I was just in Vietnam. You know, every day I would wake up, I would have like a 50-cent coconut to start my day off, like literally 50 cents. And then I would head out to the beach, do my workout, and then I would just get on my laptop, start building.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
And then at the end of the night, $1 bowl, giant bowl of pho.
Oh, man.
You know, it's like,
I could eat that every day.
I feel like there's this notion, people think there's like such a high bar to the cost of living, and then you kind of come to Southeast Asia, or you realize like there's ways to be in abundance. You know?
Yeah, Southeast Asia has been long known for being the place for digital nomads, right? Which of course makes sense, like the cost of living is cheaper, but I feel like at this point it's pretty obvious. And to me, I think it's not even about the place. It's just the fact that you can work. You don't need to be anywhere. There's no stress. There's like there's quite a lot of stress associated with waking up,
get into the office
in the morning and getting into the morning commute.
Right.
For a lot of people, I think there's like some kind of stress associated with it, and like it's such a waste of time. For me, mostly, when I don't need to go to the office, I either work from home or go to a cafe. It doesn't matter. But
nice.
The most important thing is like, I work in Nehu, by the way. Nice.
I love Nehu.
Yeah. For people who don't know, Nehu is like this. Nehu Keji Yuanquan is this this hub for companies. It's just like companies and companies.
Right.
Is that how you call that? A hub?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, it's like a new community. It's like a new community of different offices, businesses.
Basically, just businesses and offices. And
Nehu is like
a lot of people working
Long
there.
Island City in New York City.
Hard for me to compare, but
yeah, but for some people who might make that comparison, that analogy, because it's close to the main district of Xingyi here in Taiwan. It's close to the main financial district. It's only like 15 minutes away. And the cost is lower to build up these nice company buildings right now.
Yeah, each major city has a place like this, right?
Right.
Like a technology hub spot, or like basically a company hub spot. So basically, the place is it's stressful atmosphere over there. It's
really?
It's like fuck traffic, man. Traffic is crazy for one thing. Then you get on the if you don't drive a car, driving a car is crazy. Getting there and getting out of there. And after work hours,
right.
Like you spend an hour in traffic just to leave the area.
Wow.
So a lot of people drive scooters, or you take the MRT, take the metro.
Right.
But then it's just packed too. And then you walk from the metro to the office, it's packed too. And it's like a bunch of NPCs walking, from the station to their office. I hate that, man. I hate that part. Yeah. I don't really mind being in the office itself. Doesn't feel bad, but just being on the train in the morning at the same time, everyone rushing, then leaving the train station, going back there. I feel like why people hate that, man.
It's depressing. Like, why people hate that. You feel like you're just a rat in the rat race.
Exactly. That's exactly how that makes you feel.
Yeah, you start feeling robotic. You feel like, and then this is a big rabbit hole too, because it's like, this goes to like why roads were designed. Like, why is our electricity all wired? why are we all plugged into a power plant? Why are we on a grid? Why are, we call New York City Gridlock City because it's just like a grid board. It's like a big net. And we're all just fish trapped in this net. So like these get deep to like, it gets deep to like, why do we go up into our little like our ant hills in the nighttime? Like just imagine all the little humans going to the ant hill in the nighttime and we hibernate, and in the morning we all file out of the ant hills onto the streets and then we go to our little hubs.
Crazy. That's a good comparison.
But there's more to that, right? Because I think people who have been in the digital nomad mindset and they traveled, like you're very well traveled for your age. Some people have never left their city.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is it about travel and getting out, being on the move that inspires you, that makes you feel like, yo, I'm living?
Yeah, you just the last the keyword there. I'm living, bro. when you like, yeah.
I think that's what we're hunters of like life. I feel
seeing different things. Like, I think that's it. I like having my own routine. Waking up at the same time, reading a book in the morning. But if I had to have like the same routine of like the day, every single day, I go crazy, man. I can't do that. So I think that's part of the reason. And as we just mentioned, the morning commute, all that, it just drives you crazy. I hate that. So anyway, when I leave somewhere, it's really inspiring. You're in a different place. You wake up, so one day you're in Taipei, the other day you wake up in Ho Chi Minh City, and maybe it's 8 a.m. You, as you say, you get your 50 cent a coconut. You look outside,
fresh.
Different world,
something
completely different, and you appreciate that for a moment. You go to a cafe, you drink your coffee, and you start your work. You focus, you do your stuff, and that keeps you motivated. Because at least for me, partly is for financial reasons. I feel like this job, what I'm doing right now, allows me to be in this situation. So that kind of drives me, and then it's just inspiring.
If money wasn't an issue, like if I hit you right now and I was like, and I think we all have our math of like what financial goals, right? We all have our math. We all have a number that I think is like, that's a number, and it changes over time. But I had some experiences recently where like, depending on the kind of lifestyle you want, there are certain tiers for the yearly income or the monthly income or the amount of liquid you have in your account. Let's put all that to the side and let's say, boom, wrote you a check, 100 mil. What's Jacob doing? How are you cultivating life at that point where it's like, yo, money is nothing now. Now I'm just plugging in.
Crazy to think about it, but
I know you're practical. You're practical, so I'm giving you like a hypothetical crazy one.
I'd be confused, man. I'd be confused for a while. But aside from,
I'm gonna say he'd be confused. Here's 100 mil in front of you. This is yours.
Yeah. I'd be confused at first, but
I love that. So, that's real.
I studied finance for my undergraduate degree in economics. So aside from the basics, you might want to put some of it into investments. You might want to consider property or whatever. But except for that, I think part of it too for entertainment, just enjoy for a while. But I feel like that you lose purpose very quickly. You just enjoy that money for a while, and hard to say because I've never been in that situation, but it just seems like, let's say I go crazy, I go partying, I go traveling everywhere, but at some point I feel like this would start to lose the meaning. Like, what's the purpose and all of that, right? So having no limitations, you could really start thinking like, well, you have the money, what do you want to do for this world? What kind of change do you want to see? What drives you? What do you like to do? I've been recently reading a little bit about Jeff Bezos.
Oh, interesting.
And I don't know if you heard about Business Wars, the podcast.
I haven't.
Man, you gotta check that out. It's crazy.
Business Wars,
yeah. So I was just listening to this episode of Walmart versus Amazon.
All right.
And it seems to me like from Jeff Bezos' story, like he's a few years into Amazon, he was already like crazy rich. He had everything he needed, but
right.
And he still had the drive to like keep on going after every single industry and making it growing Amazon into something bigger, fighting those battles, you know, like with different competitors. And at least that was kind of inspiring to see. Not how much money he's made, not how big of a company he's made, but what was his real purpose. Like he just wanted to grow the company, and he was living that, you know, that was his life.
You see what I mean? I think we're like about an hour in. Now the convo's getting hot. You're getting warmed up. You feel me?
I get that now.
So it's like that inspires me too, because on this show, a big framework that drove some of the focus areas is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know, like that triangle. What is it about that triangle that we're almost confined by? And you see here, do you know whose eyes those are? Shout out Armel design the branding. Do you know whose eyes those are?
I want to make a guess, but
make a guess. When you see that, who do you see? First thing that comes to mind.
Is it a banknote?
Oh, you're close. It's a banknote.
It's a US dollar banknote, isn't it?
Yeah, well, which one?
I'm not sure.
$100 bills, yeah. Cash rules everything around me, right? So like, but that's also there's a big pyramid on that dollar too. So interesting. Like one of our frameworks is like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Famous psychologist who kind of studied human motivation and driving forces and realized that like at the bottom level is like food and shelter.
Right.
And then we move up to security, sense of belonging, self-esteem. And at the top level is self-actualization.
Right.
Whatever that means. And I think some of us have touched it because I know I've been in some phases in my life where I felt like, you know, we call it God mode. You know, we call it like you're in the flow state. You're a dancer. You know how that feels. You're a fighter. You know how that feels, like flow state. And I think there's something like super addicting about that stage when you're just like you mentioned Jeff Bezos and you said it right. It's like, it seems like at that point, you've already accomplished the game of money. You beat it. So what's the next fuel?
Right. Now, coming back to the $100 million question.
Ooh.
Honestly, when I think about it now, I'm not sure if I want to take that money. It's just, that's for most, whenever I think about my life, what's my purpose? What would I be doing if I wasn't chasing after something? What else would I would be so bored, man, you know? So that would kind of, I feel like that could take away a lot of the purpose. Maybe for many years you would be confused. You don't know, you're rich, but like, what are you going to do now, you know? So yeah, at least recently what I've been thinking, maybe life to me is just more about, you know, trying to chase your goals and try to enjoy it at the same time. I've been trying to think about that more. So I'm starting to be in that point now when I'm 25, and as you mentioned, the pyramid, I don't need to worry no more about shelter, food. I'm doing, let's say, relatively well financially.
Right.
I have the freedom to choose a job, which most people don't have.
Right.
And now I'm starting to think like, what do I really want to do? You know, where do I want to go? Where do I want to work from? What kind of company do I want to work for? I feel like this is the time where I'm starting to think more and more about that kind of stuff.
That's dope.
Rather than just trying to, you know, make a living and chasing money, because yeah, of course, at the end of the month, you need to get paid. You need to live. But once you get paid enough to stop thinking about surviving, you're like, yeah, what I want to do? What's my next step, right? So
right.
I'm trying to get there now.
It's interesting too, because I know you traveled to Philippines and Vietnam. So I've been there too. So we've also seen how people have almost different realities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, it's strange because it makes us feel. A lot of people sometimes feel very grateful when they see that. Some people feel guilty, like Anthony Bourdain. A big reason for his depression, and you know. it's like seemingly he had the best life in the world. He traveled to every country, eating their food, talking romantically and poetically about it. Making fun. But he's really in face to face with like poverty. And I think that's a very conflicting nature because the word that comes to me now is like privilege. We have a certain privilege, I think, all of us, in different ways. And sometimes people lose sight of it. Like, you're super privileged and you get bogged down, you get stressed by life, but your life is so amazing compared to how other people are living.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking about that a lot in the Philippines. Just came back this week actually on Wednesday. Recent. And it's crazy. The contrast there is just crazy. I went to Cebu City. Mm-hmm. So you got this island where the Cebu airport is, Mactan. Mm-hmm. And you have those big ass hotels, and you literally leave the gate of the hotel. Mm-hmm. The first thing is this small shop, with there's tricycles, those kind of their taxi drivers.
Right.
And it's to be fair, compared to Europe, USA, and even Asia, it's like pretty extreme poverty.
Wow.
Compared to many places in the world. And it's just right next to, there's this contrast next to this big hotel. And that really made me think, like, that's what my mom always told me. You need to learn to appreciate what you have now. Of course, you can be hungry and chase for more, but like, you gotta appreciate what you have because, to me, Filipino people, they're like one of the most happiest and the nicest people in the world. And I had interactions with those, with taxi drivers, with people on the boats.
Right.
They seem genuinely happy sometimes. Yeah. So that's crazy because you see, like, we're coming from these really different places, and sometimes I see that a lot of people complaining about like whatever their dinner or something.
First world problems.
Yeah, dude. And there's
I gotta go over there. That's like 15.
You gotta go there.
That's 15 minutes away. That's
15
far,
minutes
bro.
away. Yeah, you gotta go there. It's
like, come on, bro. Right? Like that. You're chilling.
Yeah. Coming back from there, that reminded me a lot to
where we come from.
Yeah, to appreciate what you have. Like, next time you think something's uncomfortable, the traffic is uncomfortable, like maybe the weather is uncomfortable, you should think about that a second time, because some of these places there, they got no electricity.
Damn.
No water irrigation system.
Wow.
So sometimes it's a good reminder, to be grateful for where you came from.
At the same time, that gets me hyped too, because I think, naturally, as creators, I feel like there is that, you mentioned that you made a video and then like people got super hyped and were like, yo, thank you. Like, I love your videos. Like, I think there's something to say about that. Like, I'm going to use the L word. It's a powerful word. This aspect of love, right? Sharing love, sharing good energy, positivity, that's a real currency. And I think now, more than ever, with the internet, with the power of our platforms that we have, it can be instantly transferred. And especially for people like that, sometimes I would imagine, like, at the dark times, one video can, like, get you through the day. Like,
light you up. Yeah, I like how you mentioned that, because that's definitely true. I think for most content out there now, it's either you give people value and maybe educational value, or you make them laugh, or maybe you give them love, as you mentioned. So you're bringing value, and whatever it is, I think that's important. For me, making a funny video or making a video that's like a genuine interaction, maybe that's my way of, that's the value that I can provide. And
right. Sometimes a smile is worth 100 mil. Right? They always say the $1 million smile, but a smile can be 100 mil. It could be $1 billion.
Nicely put. Yeah.
Hell yeah. What would you tell yourself, like, you're 25 now, what would you tell yourself at 15? If you could go back to, if you could have a video FaceTime with yourself at 15, what would you tell him?
Dude, I feel like 15-year-old me wouldn't listen to shit. At 15, I don't even know what I was doing at 15, man. At 18 I didn't know what I was doing, but 15, man, I have no idea. But that would probably be to do more stuff, you know. When I was 15, I was addicted to playing video games.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I would wake up before school and leave school early.
What games were you playing?
I was playing League of Legends, man.
Ooh.
And Call of Duty.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Did you see that FaZe Banks battle?
No.
FaZe Banks, Call of Duty sniper, OG sniper.
Oh yeah.
Just destroyed that dude. It was like 21 to 5. OG sniper. 1v1 Rust. That's crazy. I mean, video game people are making livings off video game vibes right now.
Yeah, some people. But if I was talking to myself, I would probably say, you know, get off the video games. And
you just reminded me. I always remember Polish people were like nasty at like Counter-Strike and Call of Duty. Like I remember being at the internet cafes.
Everyone was playing that shit.
I was in the internet cafes and there would always be like one Polish dude like with the buzz cut, mad skinny, just destroying us. Like
everyone used to play that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you tell your 15-year-old self, bro? You'd be like,
I think if I could, maybe just read more books, you know, learn more and try to explore different things, you know.
Speaking of that, you mentioned you're listening to Business Wars. Any books you're reading right now that's super valuable?
Yeah. So most of the books that I read now are just business related books. So
nice. Yeah, you're in that zone right now.
Just for education, just so I can do better at work and progress. What was the book? Just the one I just finished was Blue Ocean. No, Blue Ocean Strategy. No. Wait, what was it? It was. Give me one.
Let me know. It sounds like a good one.
It was a good one.
Usually the good ones are so good because you just don't even forgot the title. You just in the book. You're like, yo, this info is crazy.
I'm gonna say that real quick.
Yeah.
Oh,
cool.
got it. The cold start problem.
The cold start.
Yeah.
Problem.
Yeah, but it's just a business book. It explains how you start from a small community. It explains a lot of the SaaS companies, how they started, like Uber.
Software as a service.
Yeah. So it explains how you grow a community from something small into a worldwide app, maybe.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's kind of like a blueprint for apps or any community based service.
What did you take from it so far?
One take. The book provides a lot of value, so it's hard to mention one thing, but it's just like this as I said, a blueprint for how you grow. They call it the atomic network. How you grow a small tiny network of people being interested in the same thing. Like I don't know if you heard of Tinder, how they started.
Yo, talk about it, bro. You giving gems right now.
They started with universities, so they only did. Same like with Facebook, right? Facebook.
They went straight to the center of horniness.
Pretty much, yeah. And it worked.
It worked.
Yes.
Tinder. That was their testing ground.
That I can't remember how they came up with that, but at some point they started doing like those parties. I think so, university parties, and everyone on entering the house party had to download Tinder and get on it. And so at some point,
activations.
At some point at universities, like. Everyone had Tinder and they knew like, you know, they could match and basically started using Tinder as we know it now.
Right.
And they did that with different universities across the US until it started growing to a worldwide company.
True.
So basically the book talks about it, how you can grow from an atomic network into a big network. So very much recommended.
Ooh, that's fire. We're going to have to look at that. I mean, very similar to what I think most of us are slowly cultivating now. That reminds me of one of the most famous videos that a lot of marketers use as reference points to start a movement. That one guy dancing at the party. You ever saw that video? He's like a festival. He's just dancing on the hill. Mad. He looks mad stupid.
And everyone joins him.
Doing mad moves. Like, yeah, that's an interesting thing, right? It's like you always need that second guy to kind of validate or appreciate, and then the third turns into a party, and then
Everyone just
It
joins in.
spirals up. It spirals. Right. Have you ever used Tinder?
No, I used Tinder.
I've never used Tinder, bro. I never touched Tinder.
Not a single time?
But I did play Pokemon as I was growing up.
Oh, it's similar.
That's,
nah, I'm just kidding.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah. That's why I didn't touch it, because I knew if I touched Tinder, I would try to become a Pokemon master. You know?
Pokemon master.
So that's why I didn't touch it. I knew it would have.
Don't touch it. No.
I got you.
It's all right. You. I think it's better to meet people
organically and whatnot. Exactly. I feel you. How has it been living in Taiwan in terms of like interacting socially? You know, maybe even meeting women for yourself.
Once you learn the language, it gets so much better. You get to know so many more people. There's a funny situation to put as an example. So when I first came here, I used to live in Datong district, and there was this breakfast store that I went to very often. He was just across my home. I went there very often, and the owner, I kind of got to know him, but you couldn't communicate for shit, you know. Like, he speaks no English, I speak no Chinese, and I'm always like 谢谢, thank you, you know, right. And hello in Chinese, and a bunch of times like he gave me a free drink or whatever.
Right.
And then I moved out of there. 2 years later, I go back to that breakfast store. I was fucking around on one of the Sunday mornings. I had nothing to do.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm gonna go eat breakfast there, you know, like, it's been a while. And I know for a fact that dude remembers me. So I go back there, and with pretty fluent Chinese, and I tell him, like, you know, what's up? I'm back, man. I can speak now.
Yeah.
And we have this little conversation, and, you know, that was fun. And the guy, of course, remembers me. He gives me a free drink again. Crazy. And when we just talk, and it's like, I've known you for 2 years, dude. Like, known you. Like, we've seen each other for like.
He's seen the progression.
Multiple days a week, and then I come back with good Chinese, and I can talk to him. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's fire. 你的中文真的变好，对不对？
有好一点，还行。
很好。This is the segment where we're just gonna talk Chinese, y'all. Like.
For real?
对，我的中文不太好，可是我可以跟很多人聊天了。
对，我们可以聊一下。
跟我聊一下。你觉得？我觉得现在非常好笑是长辈。
长辈。怎么说？
你知道长辈是什么吗？
长辈有听过这个字。
我觉得你要做长辈的 content。长辈 for everyone doesn't know, 长辈 is basically like old people humor, like older people, like the 长辈 too, like. For any of you guys who have like a mom or uncle or older people, and they'll just like randomly send you like a postcard, like with some like very funny picture, just saying "Have a blessed day, we love you."
Yeah,
like,
dude, old people are the same in every country, man.
Yeah, they
do the same.
That's a Zhangbei, but in Taiwan especially, there's so many funny nuances between the elder culture and the younger culture. I feel like there's always this.
Absolutely.
This in between.
They're crazy, man. They're crazy.
Yeah, especially in Taiwan. Have you experienced anything like super wild being foreigner, speaking Chinese well? How do Taiwanese people respond to you?
Dude, every day. That's why it also makes living here more fun, because there's always those funny interactions every single day, you know, maybe in a store, maybe just somewhere, and like there's always going to be something funny if you, because you look different, obviously. People look at you, and then when they realize they can talk to you, and maybe they're going to be interested because like you come from a different place.
Right.
So I'd do the same thing if I saw a black man in Poland speaking Polish, bro. I'd ask him a million questions, like, how did that happen, you know, like,
right,
what's going on, man?
Right.
I want to know everything about you.
Right.
So yeah, so there's that. And recently I went to my girlfriend's dad's birthday party.
Okay.
And they put us at a table with all his friends. All of them are like around 50, 60 years old.
Yeah.
Like, crazy party. They drink whiskey like it's fucking juice, bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The gaoliang? They were drinking gaoliang?
Just whiskey.
Just whiskey?
Sometimes gaoliang. But
have you had gaoliang?
Yeah, of course, man.
So for those you don't know, gaoliang is like a Taiwanese white whiskey. And it's like
58%.
It's strong.
It's strong.
I love Galeong though. Like Galeong is fun. Did you learn about the round table toasting game that Taiwanese Chinese people play, where they're trying to get you drunk?
What's the toasting game?
So it's like a subculture, and one thing about Taiwan is that it's really rooted in Chinese culture.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of customs. But it's just when you're in the round table, you're supposed to always toast people.
Yeah, of course.
Always toasting people. But that's also a game they play because the more you ching, it's like wo ching ni. The more they toast you, they're trying to get you lit.
Yeah.
So sometimes on a table, there's like little battles. It's like you might show up with your girlfriend, you and her dad, and then his guests. But it's like it's the three of you versus them type vibe.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, for sure. They were trying to destroy me there.
Of course.
They were trying to destroy me.
Of course.
But, coming from Poland, that's not a big deal.
I know. You just it's light with it.
Yeah. So that day, of course, everyone was like, especially the other people, like ganbei, and they show you the empty cup. You can finish it there, man, on the spot.
Right. They just show it to you like what's good.
Yeah. So it's a fun thing. It's a fun thing, and I love that culture. It's very similar in Poland. So
that's dope.
I feel like it's also very welcoming too. At least I feel pretty welcome when someone comes with a cup of whiskey and wants to drink with you, man. Like that's welcoming.
Right.
That's awesome. That's dope.
Hell yeah, man. You're very multicultural. As we're kind of signing off, I think we're hitting the time, but more or less, what are you excited for?
You have time now. I have SSD. You can go.
Oh, for real?
I have SSD now.
Oh, we vibing?
I got like maybe 15 more minutes.
All right, we're chilling. Yeah, no doubt. But I'm keeping an eye on it too. Jacob got to get to his next endeavor.
What I'm excited for, looking forward to getting my goals done this year.
Of course, fire goals.
As I said, man, I'm getting tired of working in the office, man. That's not what I want to do. So
true.
So
most of us don't.
Yeah, I don't think most people are made for that. And as in my company, pretty traditional place, a lot of people with a little bit older. I can see like there's no more fire there. You know what I mean? They've been in that office for 20 years, man. They've just grown used to it. I don't want to end up that way. So looking forward to working remotely and hoping to maybe find a more meaningful job and exploring the world. That's it, man. Just pretty basic, nothing special.
Fire. Are you going all in on your brand? Like, are you gonna be a live streamer? Are you gonna? Because
I think about that sometimes. I started my YouTube channel just recently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I made 2 videos so
Come
far.
Come on, bro. What's it called?
It's just my name. It's just Jacob, and and then there's a Chinese name Yaga.
All right.
So
that's your Chinese name?
Yeah.
Yaga. What's that mean in Chinese?
It's just like Jacob in Chinese.
Yaga.
That's how they translate the name.
I mean, when I hear Yaga, it sounds like bite the brother, bro. Dude.
Yaga.
What you trying to say, bro? Can't bring my girl around you, bro. Yaga. That's fire. So you got the new YouTube channel up?
Yeah. We'll see how that goes. No stress there. Just I try to make it fun. Doing street interviews.
So right now you're on IG for sure.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, and TikTok.
And TikTok. Yeah. Are you gonna be on X?
X? Nah, I don't think so.
You don't fuck with X?
Nah.
What's your take on X and Elon?
I don't know. It's just words, man. I mean, just like a sentence. I don't think it resonates as well as a video.
Interesting.
You gotta hear the voice. You gotta see someone. I think
connect more, communicate more.
Yes, I don't really fuck with that. But
are you gonna do some streaming like Twitch?
Live streaming, perhaps. Yeah, maybe just on Instagram. We'll see. I'm not putting on any pressure on myself in that area because I feel like I don't want to make it into my job, at least at this point now. But I've been thinking about it more and more because I could see
because you're getting a lot of positive response on the content you're creating and the stories you're telling.
I could see a possible path there.
Right.
Just doing that full time.
Right.
And probably could be fun, probably more relaxing than what I have now. But I don't want to quit yet the corporate life, and I still want to work for another company, see how that goes. Maybe work for as I said, a bit more meaningful job. Maybe find a company that's mission I agree with.
Oh, interesting. I see what you mean now. So you want to align with a mission-based.
If I could work for one company now, I think that would be crazy if I could work for one championship. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like the Asian UFC. Let me put it that way.
Oh.
They have more views than UFC now. I think so. They had
really.
They had it's the second most viewed sports channel.
That's crazy.
Last year, I think.
Didn't know about that.
After I think NBA or something.
Damn, it's called One Championship.
Yeah, you should check it out.
The Asian UFC network.
Yeah, it's Singaporean, started by a Thai.
Oh, I see. So you got your sights on that. You're trying to. What would you do for them, ideally?
Digital marketing.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that would be the most interesting. So that will connect all my passions. It's a fight championship, and I like the way they do marketing. I like their mission. Most of their content is for free.
Right.
Different than UFC, right? UFC they're like $25 pay-per-view. They never post fights afterwards. I don't know. I don't really fuck with that. Right. But they have they have an event every single week. That's fire. It's all for free. I like that.
I'm seeing it. It's like you're in the mix. Nice solid position role with a fire company, and it gives you the autonomy to still cultivate your brand and have fun with it, without treating it like a job. Like it's like
that would be perfect. So
that's dope.
We'll see how. We'll see next year. Man. We'll see next year.
I mean, you're hitting marks, man. Again, I met you like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
And you're just learning Chinese. We was hustling for Huge X, young little fashion brand, and the metrics has been crazy ever since, man. So I know you're on a fire trajectory, and you're only gonna continue to kill it, to grow it. I enjoy the content you're creating. I'm looking forward to seeing more facets of that. Definitely, a stream would be interesting too. I'm seeing streaming, and streaming is interesting to me.
I actually do that sometime. That's a good idea.
Yeah, how is that though, real quick? I mean, how do you keep that energy going? How do you keep it rocking?
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just don't want to make any. There's like 2 weeks of breaks. I don't make any videos.
Yeah.
Just because I'm overwhelmed, perhaps with my other work or other stuff. So if I don't feel it, I'm just not doing it. But sometimes there's just this this push of inspiration. I can make 5 videos in a day, and it all seems so easy,
just pump it.
It's just, yeah.
That's fire. I bet. Any last words you wanna let the people know? Any other young content creators trying to live the passport bro lifestyle?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Do your thing, and just make sure you're, in the end of the day, you tell yourself 3 things that you're proud of that day, and hopefully be happy, even if it was a bad day. Just try to find something good in it. Or at least don't get upset with it, because in the end it's just life. And
you got to hit me with the 3 things though. What's your 3 things today then?
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, I only checked on 1 now.
Oh really?
The podcast, yeah.
Oh,
that's definitely gonna be 1, and then 2 more.
Fire. Appreciate you.
It's really small things. Like every time before sleeping, try to tell yourself 3 things I'm proud of that day. So perhaps going out yesterday, but I didn't drink.
Nice.
And I was feeling okay today morning. I like that.
Nice.
It's a small thing, but
True.
And then number 3, I'm going to teach kids jiu-jitsu now, so maybe that'll be it.
That's dope.
Small things.
That's fire. Well, I'm super grateful that you decided to join us here.
I appreciate it.
It's been great to catch up with you, man. I know you there's a well of knowledge behind it. I know you keep it super calm and collected, but I know you're a sharpshooter killer, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do in the future and getting you back on the podcast.
Maybe in a few years. Hope I don't disappoint you guys.
Nah, not at all, man. We chilling. But thank you so much, Jay.
Man, I appreciate
you, brother. My G. Hey. We'll see you next time, all right? We signing off.
Shout out to Madame Vision and Ivan.
That's right. If you haven't already, Armel always tells me, smash that like button. Hit that follow. Follow Jacob.
Hit it.
Feel me? We'll see y'all later.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Take
All right,
care,
brother.
man.
Peace out.